Alright, so this week we're going to be looking at Roku. The date is August 6th, 2022. We're going to be looking at the chart for the past 5 days, which was this past week, the first week of August. I'm just going to do a little bit of technical analysis. We're going to check out the charts. We're going to look into the indicator on the charts, and we're going to understand how we would have made a profit this week. Now, just from the look of it, it looks like Thursday would probably have been the hardest trading day, followed by Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and the easiest Monday. Why is this, and how can I tell that Thursday is the hardest, would have probably been the hardest day to trade? Even though it's relatively easy if you have the right trading psychology, and if you understand how the market works, if you understand risk management, when to close out of a trade, when to open a trade, it will become, it's easy then. But just at the look of it, we're going to zone in on Thursday. Just like I said, as a look of it, we're going to see why it was the hardest day to trade. Now, the beginning of the day, easy, very, very simple. The market starts off in a very, very bullish trend. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were out of the market by 10 o'clock and they finished their trading day then. However, it does fluctuate and it does cross over our middle line for the indicators that we had created. By the way, this is the indicator we have created. As we can see, it crosses over the line, and this small move right here could be a lot depending on how many contracts you purchased. Keep in mind that a contract is not the same as a share. I've said this over and over again, and I'm going to have to say it over and over again because not a lot of people understand the difference between a contract and a share. A share is one purchase worth, in this case, $82. An option is 100 shares. Now, option contract is 100 shares, so that's basically the difference. As you can see, it just passes our line and then it crosses back over. So over here, it could have been a small loss if you didn't understand how the market worked, if you stayed in the trade for too long. This move right here happened under 5 minutes. So if you had gone into the trade before that, you would have been profitable. You would have created a buffer. However, over here, if you got into a long and just held on to it, you would have lost if you didn't close out the right area. And that's what we go over during our live calls. But as we can see, the market turned bearish, turned around, hit our bottom line over here twice. A lot of people would have got out over here, or maybe even held on to it until the market flipped over and broke this line over here. And as we can see, a little bit of bouncing off support and resistance levels right over here. And market ended out end of the day in a very, very bearish, not very bearish, but a bearish trend. So Thursday would have been the hardest day to trade. However, it wouldn't be a big deal if you traded Roku or even if you traded other stocks for the rest of the week. Now, I personally like to stick to a couple of pairs. I don't overtrade. I don't trade 10 pairs a day. I don't have my chart open with well, I might have my chart open with multiple ticker symbols. However, I probably won't enter into a trade on all of those ticker symbols every day. The reason why, it's because if you do that, you can it's harder to manage your trades. If you're really good at doing it, you can go right ahead. If you have a lot of money in your account, you can go ahead and do that. But if you're only trading, if you have a $25,000 margin account, I would suggest only trading maybe 1 to 3 pairs max, and entering into maybe about 3 trades at the same time, because you have to watch the charts, You have to understand how the market is moving, and you have to close out at the right moment. And you don't want to have a margin call. You don't want to run out of cash to trade with. For all the experienced traders out there that know what I'm talking about, you don't want to have to run out of cash to trade with for that day. And I go over all of that in the group. So you can see the easiest day to trade was Monday, which literally required probably less than 5 minutes of work and monitoring. Entered into a long over here, entered into a call, held on to it until the end of the day, or even held on to it until about 11:30, and you would have been fine. Very simple. Tuesday, very simple. Wednesday, very simple. So this is very simple. However, the reason why it's so challenging to people is because it requires capital. Just like any other business, you might require an initial investment, and keep in mind that this is still a risk, same as any other business. If you open up a restaurant, you're not sure if you're going to break even at the end of the year. You don't know the cost of operation, anything, all of the costs that might come into play. You don't know if the store's going to get robbed. You don't know if it's going to do well. So that's the reason why a lot of people shy away from the stock market. They think that it's risky. They think that they can't make that much. They think it's gambling. They think that they might have met someone who lost a lot of money, and that all those factors are addressable. But is it risky? Yes, there's risk involved. If you don't know what you're doing, the risk is higher. But people do this every single day. People are at Wall Street and they're trading every single day, and they're definitely trading more than one option contract. They're probably trading hundreds. So, with that in mind, as a retail investor would be an investor or a trader who stays at home and does it for his or herself. That would be different. Retail traders still do, there's incredible earning potential. However, they don't make as much as the Wall Street guys, hedge fund guys, the prop firm guys out there. So, zoning out of this is Roku for the first week of August. Very simple market to trade. Now, I would suggest trading with a $25,000 account, just so that you can start trading as a margin, so you can activate the margin settings and you can trade a margin account. The reason why I say that is because you'll have double the cash to trade with. Now, this probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and we go into depth with this, and I will go into depth with this, but it's easier. You have you can enter into more. It basically means you can enter into more trades during the day, and you can ultimately become more profitable. So if you are curious, or if you're interested in learning more about this, head over to our website, www.awakeglobalcapital.com. Send us a message, send us an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll address all of your questions. I'll speak to you for a moment, and we can see if you're a good fit for this. And if you're not, you're not. If you are, I'm glad to have you aboard.